Hello and welcome to the most recent episode of the On the Bench podcast. I'm Josh, the Vice President of the Society. I'm here with Abby Dean, the President.
Hello.
I'm here with a guest today, Oshi,
Hello.
and the most recent addition to the committee, our new communications officer, social media expert, Josh Braxton.
Woo! Hello.
Yes, well done, mate. Congrats on
Cheers. Thank
getting
you.
voted
Thank
in.
you.
Yeah.
I'm delighted to be on the committee.
Exactly. We've seen a couple of your
Nice.
posts so far. They're already looking very beautiful.
Cracking.
I'm
I'm
Cracking.
sure
loving them.
I'm sure
Love
Abby
it.
loves that photo of herself on there.
It's brilliant.
14-year-old me with braces.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Absolutely beautiful. Right, today we are going to be talking about the most recent game week results, and we're going to be discussing today. It's a new thing on the podcast. We're going to be selecting a team and discussing how their season's gone so far. So today, we're going to go with Crystal Palace, currently 14th in the table. But before we talk about them, we'll start with the game week. Does anybody have anything to say about anything that stands out to them? What happened? Anything?
I think Oshi has. I'll give him this time to talk about Chelsea because there's
yeah.
only so much I can say now.
Go for it.
Yeah, well, as we all know, it was a newly appointed manager Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge against Wolves. Ended 0-0. Although there were some really positive signs in the game. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is the most I've enjoyed us. I've enjoyed watching us play a match of football in a long time.
I agree.
The first half was amazing. Like the passing and everything, passes in the final third, pass around the back. I think at a point in time in that game we had like 94% possession, and Wolves had
Wow.
6,
Yeah.
which was incredible. Although the second half was a bit lackluster and Wolves did have a few chances, overall the game was amazing. And considering he's only been in charge for less than 24 hours, there's only
Yeah.
greater things to come, I'm hoping.
I think I heard that he only had like an hour of training with them
Yeah, dude,
before the game, and everyone was I know everyone was on social media like really hyping him up, like they're going to absolutely go out and smash Wolves and win the game. When obviously they lost in the other game, didn't they?
yeah.
Yeah, so they expected him to come in, have an hour's training session, and then just be able to beat the team that they've lost to previously. So I think a draw out of that is a very good result. Since he doesn't
Yeah.
actually know the players yet. So
Yeah. A win was it was very optimistic. I'm sure obviously most of the fans were like, oh, new manager, like an immediate bounce, but a draw, a clean sheet as well.
Yeah,
Very
That's
positive
vital.
result. Yeah.
one person I enjoyed watching was Havertz. I feel like I don't know why. I feel like I got to see more of him in that game.
Yeah,
Like,
it worked better behind that striker where we've seen him play for Leverkusen before, and I think probably Oshi would agree. I think the formation we had, I think it allowed especially Hudson-Odoi, Havertz, and when Pulisic came on, I thought them two as wing back and then Havertz behind just brought a little bit extra than what they have done previously. And as I saw you comment, Josh, I think you're right. I think Havertz did have one of his better games in terms of movement. We saw a few bits of flair. We went forward that one time, took on a few players. We hadn't seen that at all, have we, Oshi? And I think that made a lot of difference to him.
It did. There was a moment in the game where Havertz had the ball in the midfield and just drove forward. Although he had
Brilliant,
the
wasn't
shot straight at the keeper, but I've never seen him do that all season. And it was just an amazing breath of fresh air.
yeah, I think with Lampard, he was always like focused on having wingers and then passing it out wide and like crossing it in. But I feel like with this formation now and the way it's set up, it's now focused on going through the middle, so Havertz can do a bit more of what he does best.
Yeah,
definitely.
Sorry,
No, you go
person. Yeah, another person in the team I feel did really well was Hudson-Odoi. Obviously, one man of the match as well. As a right wing back, I was a bit skeptical, obviously, because I haven't really seen him do much defending. But he was absolutely amazing on that right side. Even when Tuchel subbed off Chilwell and brought on Pulisic and switched Hudson-Odoi to the left, he was doing just as good, if not better, than Chilwell did throughout the time he was there on the pitch. which was just absolutely amazing. You know, he was doing stuff forward, linking up with Ziyech on the right side, on the left, tracking back. I remember towards the game, there was a chance they had where they switched from their left to Dendonka, who was on Hudson on the other side, and he tracked back and intercepted the ball before he got the shot on. Because he
Yeah, that was
probably would
brilliant.
have scored it. Yeah, it was amazing. I didn't even expect him to track back, so it was just overall a fantastic performance from him.
I thought so. It was very nice to see from a neutral perspective in that game to see
Yeah.
Chelsea actually doing well,
Yeah.
especially against Wolves, who we know can come up with something in games like
Yeah.
that.
It was definitely a breath of fresh air for sure.
Yeah,
It was definitely. I mean, I know we had the ball a lot, but we did see a lot of backwards passing, though, didn't we, Oshi? I mean, I know we kept the ball, as you said, not like 96% at one time. And I think the end of the game, it was like 81% across the whole game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right having the possession, but I felt, especially Chilwell as well, I felt he passed the ball back a lot than he would normally do. Maybe that's because he's not used to wing back and didn't feel comfortable going forward as much as he would from left back. I thought Ziyech had a bit of a quiet game. I didn't think he was on the pace as much. And then you could see the contrast of when Mount came on. He did a few really good things, and I thought he looked a lot brighter.
Sure.
Yeah, especially that turn inside the penalty box when he crossed
the
it.
turn
I
in
thought
the
that
box,
was good.
yeah, that was.
It's always a bit confusing for a player when they're introduced to a new system and they have to get used to it like soonish. So hopefully we'll see a bit more of Ziyech like we did Havertz. But
Yeah, I agree.
with the passing back thing, I can definitely understand the frustration behind that, especially for a Southampton fan who obviously in recent years we haven't really had a good few seasons, but we were passing it back a lot more and it wasn't really working. I don't like to see it.
I think that's a nice segue to talk about the 3-1 loss to Arsenal in the week.
Yeah.
Optimistic, weren't you, at first?
I was. I didn't really have any fears going into this game week with Arsenal because obviously we beat them. But I do have to say, like I did express my frustration in the chat with the left back and right back because obviously Ryan Bertrand's out on suspension, Kyle Walker's was injured, and it just really it really showed, especially in the system we play. We what we do is we have a 4-4-2, and then we have our left back and right back push up, and our right mid and left mid kind of go more towards the centre, so they can support the strikers and get them into good positions. But with the left back and right back, we had Jan Valery, Vokins. I just didn't think they were experienced enough to play in that sort of system, and I feel like the manager was very hopeful, like very optimistic for those two players. I feel like he should have probably before the match told them to not push up as much as Ryan Bertrand and Kyle Walker-Peters does, because those two are just brilliant at doing that. But I just didn't see anything happening really. Jan Valery, he pushed up a lot to the point where on a few occasions there was only three at the back and he just wasn't there because he was tracking. He had to track back the whole length of the pitch because he was like a right forward. It was not a fun game to watch. We did pass it back a lot of the time as well when we were attacking, and I don't think we had that confidence. And I don't know if that's just because, as I said, the players were out. But I was very critical at the time of the game on the left back and right back. But I just think it's a lack of experience really. And after the game, I was watching Benali discuss it, and he was like, "Oh, I just think with suspension and injury, obviously referring to our left back and right back, they just weren't used to it. So it was a tough thing. It was a tough thing to swallow when we lost 3-1. Because
because you played a similar team. You played exactly the same team apart from your fullbacks, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly the same. Except for the fullbacks, and obviously Arsenal had a bit of a stronger squad, but they still had a few people out on injuries, as well. Kieran Tierney. But the only thing that changed was our left back, right back, and goalkeeper, I believe. Yeah, McCarthy wasn't playing on Saturday. No, I don't think he was.
It was Forster.
No, yeah.
It was Forster. Yeah, it was Forster. So I just think he's obviously come back from injury. He needs to get used to the game a bit more, and I think that showed with the second goal. He'd been playing brilliant before he got injured. I just don't know what he was doing. He ran. Obviously, Saka got the ball and he just ran up to him instead of getting back in his goal. He ran for him, and Saka just does what he does and just dribbles around him, scored a goal.
Yeah.
Fair
Especially
enough.
if you go for that, it's like from a goalkeeper's perspective. If you go, you have to get it.
I just don't think there was any need to do it. There was obviously it was either Bednarak or Stevens just very close to Saka, to be honest. And I think McCarthy just he shouldn't have gone for it, but he just has to get used to the game a bit more and keep it calm. I don't know if he was a bit on edge coming back into the team or anything, but I feel like in that situation, it
was a bit of a weird one as well because Saka, I don't know who defender it was that was with him, but he was on his weak foot, and he was a bit wide away from goal. So I didn't really understand why he came out, because obviously Saka, if he took the shot from there, probably would have just p-rolled it to McCarthy, and then he does what he does.
I think he was a bit out of his goal when Saka got the ball, but I feel like he had that time, especially as you said, being on his weak foot with the defender there. He had time to get back in his goal and didn't need to necessarily be that stressed about running out to him and trying to stop him. But yeah, the first, as I said, that goal, I can't blame anybody else but McCarthy just making a poor decision. The first goal, I think I said in the chat that Jan Valery, the right back, I don't think he was marking Pepe correctly. From what I saw, he wasn't on him as much. He wasn't the right side of him. He just let him get the ball, let him bully him off it, and he just scored a goal. I just can't say anything more about that. Third goal, we were just asleep. We were done. I think that was just it. But yeah, it was a tough thing to swallow. But we've got Ryan Bertrand back in the team, so the left side's sorted. But we'll see what Kyle Walker-Peters' injury is saying. I don't think it's going to be long, but we are missing him already. But yeah, tough one to swallow. Right, let's take it away from the depression that is Southampton's defeat. Joshy boy, how did Reading do in recent games?
Well, last week we had a little double game week, not unusual in the Championship. 0-0 draw on Sunday against Preston. End-to-end game for both teams. Preston dominated first 20-25 minutes, and then we grew into the game. Lucas Shaw missed a penalty. I'm not going to talk about that any further. It was just
I knew about that.
poor.
Sorry.
It was just poor. Just dragged it wide. Keeper went the wrong way. Just dragged it wide. I liked watching Preston. They've got some good signings in there as well. And then we'll go to the more positive one of the 3-0 midweek win against Coventry. Coventry had a few early chances, but then dominated from there on out. Lucas Shaw, here we're going to go for a positive now. Brilliant holding off of the defender to just tuck it home past the keeper. Second goal, Zhao again gets the ball on the right-hand side of the box, squares to Ajaria. Now he scuffs the shot, but he scuffs it so perfectly that it falls to Andy Rinomota, and he just drives it home. Then Ajaria goes through on goal. McFadden, the Coventry defender, just decides to take him down. He was already on a second yellow, and is off. And then John Swift. Oh my! What a beauty of a free kick! Absolutely. I thought he might take it on and just have a go, and then I saw it swing into the top right corner. I was like, oh my! That is goal of the season contender. Brilliant goal. 3-0, game done and dusted, and walk away with the 3 points. So good game week for Reading. And tonight we've got Bournemouth, huge match in the playoffs.
Yes.
We got a huge match in the playoffs.
I don't like Bournemouth.
Live on Sky.
Beautiful.
They haven't been doing too well recently, Bournemouth. They're below us. So it's going to be a really entertaining match. Last time we played them, oh dear, I have to talk about that. 2-0 up at half time, and then we lose 4-2. All Bournemouth's 4 goals coming in the second half. They completely dominated us. I hope we don't repeat that. I hope we take the lead and keep the lead this time. So, yeah, that's that.
But you're at home, aren't you, as well?
We're at home this time, so
yeah.
home advantage, hopefully.
I'm actually getting Sky Sports today, so I'll put it on in the background.
Yeah, have a tune in.
I will.
Shall watch that, and we'll be done we'll be done with the quiz before then.
There
So
you go. So you can chill out and relax, watch
yeah,
a Reading Bournemouth. Happy
Indeed.
days. Right, on to the main point of the podcast, Crystal Palace. So obviously they are sitting in 14th right now, 23 points. They've played 20 games, so obviously sitting joint with a lot of teams, but there are obviously a lot of teams below them that have not played the same amount of games as them. Burnley right below them, obviously have a game of hand on them, and they're on 22 points. So we could be seeing Crystal Palace 15th after Burnley play that game. But yeah, I don't know what to say about that season. It's been a bit strange. Obviously, they started the season with a couple wins against Southampton.
sorry, what was that?
Southampton.
Yeah.
And they actually beat Man United 3-1 in match day 2.
Yeah,
So
that was surprising.
But then obviously in recent, it's not that recent. It's not within the last 5 games. They obviously lost, I believe, the biggest loss of the Premier League so far this year. 7-0 loss against Liverpool. So that was not very good. Not a very good performance. Anybody got anything to say about their season?
I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
think-
a hard one, isn't it? Really, but
it's
you go
been
for it,
very up
Braxton,
and down.
or someone.
Yeah,
I think
Oshi.
Dean should go. I think Dean should
Okay.
go because it's.
I'm going to go with the guest. I'm going with Oshi.
Let's go, Oshi, then.
All right. It's been a bit up and down. Yeah. They did beat Southampton. They beat United at Old Trafford. Although they've had some very bad losses. Obviously, as you said, the 7-0 loss to Liverpool. They lost 4-0 to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. They lost 4-0 to City at the Etihad. They've been knocked out of the FA Cup as well by Wolves. I think it was the first match they had in the FA Cup. It's
Tough
just
game.
been,
Tough.
yeah, it's
Tough.
been
To be honest.
very, very, very poor. I think the last match recently, they lost 3-2 to West Ham. Obviously, Suchek getting 2 goals. And Dawson
He's
as well.
alright.
He's been insane this season. But as for Palace, I don't really know. It's just been a bit there.
Mhm.
It's been a bit there. They've had some good results, some bad results. Obviously, 14th in the table is about where they should be. They've had some very good positive lights, like Eberechi Eze, who's been very amazing this season. I remember they beat Leeds. I forget what the score was.
4-1.
Was it 4-1? Yeah, 4-1. That Eze scored that worldie of a free kick. Just absolutely amazing. Obviously, Zaha, the main man, once again, almost every season now.
Yeah,
Just doing his thing.
he's on 9 goals so far in the Prem.
9.
Not
Oh, I
bad.
didn't
Yeah, he's
even
on
know.
9.
Over double
Not bad.
Werner's goals, which is let's not talk about that. Yeah. Just him and Eze have just been carrying this Palace team essentially. I don't really know much else or who else they have. I guess Benteke's got a few goals. He got a few
I
against
don't like
West
him.
Brom.
I
don't like
don't like.
Benteke.
No, you ask my old football coach, who's probably listening. I've told him so many times, I do not like Benteke. I don't think he brings anything to Palace. It's just all they do is
3
try and get
goals.
Zaha and Eze on the ball and then try and cross it. I don't think he's good. I really
He's got
don't.
more goals than Batshuayi this season.
He hardly plays. He hardly plays Batshuayi.
Oh, that's trying, man.
He's also got
What's
more
that?
goals than Ayew, who is essentially their starting striker as well.
Yeah, Ayew. I thought he was gonna have an amazing season. He had an insane one last year. I thought he was gonna come back and do his thing. I don't know if he's been injured recently, or maybe he's just been dropped completely. But
He
just
plays most
definitely
weeks, I think.
he does.
Yeah.
Definitely
I think-
not the season he had last year.
I think Benteke is a good striker to come on and try and score a late goal. Because obviously he's a big lad. I reckon he's quite strong. So he comes on and just muscles all the tired people. Tries to nick a goal. Easy win. Anything you got to add, Braxton? Got anything?
Well, I was just looking at the stats. They scored 24 goals this
Mhm.
season, and obviously, I say
Yep.
Zaha scored 9, so he's nearly accounted for half their goals. So he is a crucial asset to keep at Palace, along with Eze as well. Like, if they lose him, I would see them going down next year. So if they lost him in the summer or even this transfer window, I could see them. If they lost them in this transfer window, I'd back them to be relegated. But if they lost him in the summer, yeah, they'd definitely be going down because he's such a crucial part of that Palace side, and he's irreplaceable, really. Eze, I really like Eze. Watching him at QPR last year, brilliant player, dominated the Championship and deserved that Premier League move.
Nice. Okay, I couldn't agree more. I think one thing I can point out from Crystal Palace is that the defence isn't really there this year. When we're looking at goals conceded, they have the second most. Second most goals conceded this season.
Yeah.
Which is obviously bringing them down quite a lot. We look at Burnley, as I said, they're only 1 point behind them, but have a game less than them. They've only scored 13 goals. And
Wow.
conceded.
And 1 point.
Yeah. And 1 point behind. I think that just shows that obviously I know Burnley are quite a boring football club. They just kind of go for the 1-0 wins. But I think it kind of shows in this scenario that Crystal Palace's defence is not that strong at all, really. And I think they need some improvements. They obviously got Gary Cahill, good experience for the team. Obviously, ex Chelsea. Why Aberdeen saying big up. But yeah, I think their defence is just not there this season. It's not doing anything for them.
I mean,
really.
they've shifted Kouyaté back from a defensive midfielder to a centre back. So
Yeah,
I don't know what
I think
Hodgson sees in him to
I think
him as a centre back.
They had a lot of
I think they
injuries. That's why he's moved. And I think they've got a lot of aging players. They're, as we know, they're the oldest team in the league on average. And obviously they've got Dan, they've got Tompkins, you've got Gary Cahill,
and Teke's 30 now.
Guaita, you know, you've got Kelly that's been there for quite a while. You've got Ward that's even been there for even longer. And I think a lot of injuries to the centre half made Kouyaté go back to centre back, and he has actually established himself there quite well. I think he offers them something a little bit different, but I think Palace have a lot of areas for improvement. As you say, if they lose Zaha now or in the summer, they're definitely going to struggle. Obviously, being affiliated with myself quite a while ago, it's with Hodgson in charge. I think they need a bit of a change because over the 4 years he's been there, each year they have finished lower in the league. Like last season they finished 14th, and I think for a team like Palace with some individual good players, as we mentioned earlier, of Eze and Zaha, I think they need to change the formation because their strongest assets are, as you say, Zaha and Eze, and they need to use them more. They've got this new striker coming in who scored 10 goals in 18 games, on loan for the rest of the season with an option to buy, and he will go straight into the team. Something a little bit different.
Mateta,
Who is that?
Mateta.
Yeah,
Mateta.
Mateta.
Yeah, and I think they need a new centre half. They need a new centre midfielder because as much as McCarthy and MacArthur do their job, they're just there to, make the challenges be a bit rough. But I don't think they have I think Palace need youth, a bit more youth in that middle. Someone, I'm just going to be a bit biased because I can't think of anyone else at the moment. Someone a bit like Gallagher, someone a bit like Billy Gilmore, someone a bit maybe like a Reece Nelson or something like that from Arsenal on loan maybe for next season. I think they just need someone in there that has not necessarily experience, but just adds a little bit of more flair, a little bit more excitement. Because I think
energy,
Palace been quite boring, and with the players that they have on the wings, especially, I wouldn't associate them with boring. But if Sahar's not on it, the team aren't on it, and it shouldn't be about that one player.
I wouldn't say they were boring. It was quite enjoyable watching that 7-0 loss.
I tell you what, I don't think my old coach was happy about that. But you know.
I think Dean makes a really good point actually of that midfielder, just a little bit more attacking creativity, because they play Eze out wide, they play Zaha out wide, just someone through the middle to get through a bit more creativity, and they've got Milivojevic as well, MacArthur, that can provide that defensive support.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at one thing I have just seen, I'm going to point out, goalkeeper. It used to be, everyone used to rate him a lot. Played for Stoke, now at Crystal Palace.
Jackie Butland.
Yeah, and he's actually wearing the number 1 shirt, but obviously doesn't get played because Gaita.
He's all right.
Yeah, they've got a lot of goalkeepers, to be fair. Wayne Hennessy, Stephen Henderson, and then obviously the other two. Yeah, Jack Butland. He's obviously in recent seasons not been really talked about, I don't think. I haven't heard much about him. He's obviously he got selected for England, didn't he?
Way back when.
Yeah. Was it the Euros? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Probably.
I think it was the Euros.
He would have had some really good seasons with Stoke around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously he's now at Palace. Is he going to be sitting on the bench, or do you reckon he's just waiting for?
Moment.
Do you reckon he's just waiting for the end of the season where Gaita might want to go chill in Spain and have a few seasons there at home?
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. I mean, Jack Butland really took a big drop off when he got relegated to the Championship with Stoke. He got
injured as well, didn't he? I can't remember what injury he had. I think it was either shoulder or something like that.
Yeah, he had some absolute blunders though. He was really quite poor for his first season. He was getting Federici starting over him and all of that. And then he pulled back his form in his second season. And when I thought he would join Palace, I thought, right, he's going to try and challenge Gaita, and he just hasn't. I don't know what Roy Hodgson.
I think they wanted him to challenge because obviously they've given him the number 1.
Yeah, true.
So
I just don't. It's probably something internal at the club. Maybe he's just not performing, or Gaita's just really performing quite well. Like, I look at that Spurs game. Spurs probably could have won, but he made some great saves, and he's had a
few good games, to be fair.
Yeah. He said only 27. So
yeah, Butland is Gaita's 34. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking Jack Butland's probably there for next year maybe. Gaita probably have a few more years, but he's still performing quite well. And obviously, we know goalkeepers stay on longer than the outfield players. So I think there's a lot of improvement for Palace. I don't think Hodgson is the man anymore. I think that's quite vital. I think they've won 2 of their last 13 games in all competitions, including, I think they lost the FA Cup to Wolves. I think that was 1-0. And you just got to see it's just the same thing week in, week out. It's sometimes, even as a Chelsea fan, obviously, like being with Palace before, it's still hard to watch when they're not playing well, because I like to see them do well. But I think they just need something new. I think they need. Hodgson's been there 4 years. I think it's time for a new manager. I don't know who you guys think, but I have had a few. I've been speaking to my old coach about it, and we've threw up like maybe Lampard, but he might want to do something a little bit more Championship, or possibly go abroad. But my main one, I was thinking of Eddie Howe. But
that would be interesting.
That would.
Yeah, I think Eddie Howe's a good manager. I felt bad for him at Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think that last season at Bournemouth, he was there for so long. He was doing quite well with them. Probably not getting the best recruitment, there were some players that were just like Danjuma, who was just
in recent years, like
not playing in the Premier
Jordan
League.
Ibe as well.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Recent
Oh.
years,
Paul-
they just
Solanke
they
was
haven't
a very weird one as well.
Poor signing from Liverpool.
they haven't
Poor
they haven't
signings from
really been
Liverpool.
purchasing anyone that can come into the team and do a better job than what they've already got. I don't think.
Yeah, I think
Um,
he's a good manager, and I think if Palace give him a chance, I think he'd do well for them.
To be
Well,
fair,
how?
I like the shout
Yeah.
of like the shout of Lampard as well, because then
Yeah.
obviously I think he's still got the hope of coming back to Chelsea one day and doing a better job than he did this time.
Okay.
He just needs that bit more experience, and if he wants that experience in the Premier League, he's got to go to a Premier League club.
Mm.
Just the
Crystal
head
Palace
guy
could,
facing Lampard.
yeah,
and
especially with
potentially influence.
Lampard's vision on the youngsters as well. I think it'd be a good one for Palace, especially with obviously their age in defence. They got a lot of old players. Gary Cahill's there as well, so he'll be able to
That would be nice.
use him.
I think
help
they could look in the Championship as well for a manager. You know, like someone like Thomas Frank from Brentford. I think he'd be a good option, especially if they didn't get promoted this year, because he'd probably want to look to be managing in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think he should.
I can't think of any more Championship managers that would fit well in a Palace. Gary Rowett from Millwall,
Oh
even though
God.
he's doing awful right now with Millwall, and I'd back him to get sacked soon. But
I think with good shouts for managers, possibly from the Championship, to come up, and they'll obviously want to fight to stay in because they want that. Moving back to Palace's recent formation and players and that, one thing I have noticed is obviously Jeffrey Schlupp has been playing a more up the field role now.
Mhm.
Obviously, I believe is he a left back naturally?
yeah,
Oh,
he's
he
like
can
a left
anywhere,
wing
really.
back. Actually.
Yeah, he's naturally a left back. I think. Well,
I
predominantly.
remember a few years ago on FIFA when he had a striker card.
Yeah,
Did he
I
actually?
think he can play. Yeah, he can play along that left side.
they've been using him quite on the right side, on the right wing as well. They've been moving him about quite a lot.
Cut in with his left foot and get some in swinging crosses into the box for
Yeah,
Benteke to latch his head on.
I mean, he's
probably
currently
miss.
injured, so
Yeah,
That doesn't really help.
that hasn't helped. I think he's out for a couple of months with an injury, and that, as you said, he has been in the team a lot. It's interesting. Like, I think it's been about 3 weeks since he got his injury, and they haven't really won any games apart from Sheffield United. I mean, most people beat Sheffield United apart from Man United, but you know.
Oh, if only Roshan was there.
If only
What-
Roshan was there.
if
He's
only.
asleep.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just he's
I
been
pray
doing
he's
his
sleeping
work all
well.
night.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's hard with Palace. I think they just need a change, and
Yeah.
as you said with the formation, they just need to play to Zaha and Eze's strength. Braxton, you might know. Did Eze play like Cam for QPR? Was it always on the wing?
He did. He played Cam at QPR. He played behind. I think he played behind like Jordan Hugill most of the time. Osei Samuel was out on the left-hand side on the wing, who's another brilliant player. It's a shame he's not going to be in the Premier League next year because he's going out to Fenerbahce, signed a pre-contract agreement. And Eze also had some decent support with the defensive midfielders as well. He had like Cameron and all of that. So yeah, he did play as a cam, but I think he operates all right out wide as well.
I'm just not sure about this two up top for Palace. I don't think it works.
You could switch it so I'm trying to think where Zaha's more of a lone striker and he's got obviously Eze behind him, possibly playing in that cam role again. Seeing what happens that way.
Maybe something like a 4-4-1-1. So you have like Milivojevic and MacArthur behind, and you have Townsend and then maybe Schlupp on the left-hand side as well, Eze and Zaha.
Yeah.
And then Eze could play like a second striker role.
Yeah. I think that could work. I think that could be an option.
Oh, make me manager of Crystal Palace.
I mean, they need some new fresh life.
Get out.
Get your management
60-year
sorted.
age
Easy win.
difference. Well, I've already got my level 1. Just get through the coaching.
As well as the
quicker.
oldest squad, they have the oldest manager as well, I swear.
Yeah. Or
Wow.
is the oldest manager.
They're
Crystal
probably
Palace.
going to have to. He's probably going to want to retire soon, so they probably definitely need to move him on.
One person I do want to shout out in the Crystal Palace squad is my boy Nathaniel Klein.
Was he at Southampton?
Yes, he was like the best he was the best at Southampton. I loved him at our right back. I really did love him.
Love selling to Liverpool.
We do.
Oh my.
Which is quite sad because obviously I loved Klein when I saw him go. I was quite sad, and it was very upsetting. Same for Luke Shaw. I feel like he was the best he probably could have been at Southampton.
Van Dijk as well.
And then Van Dijk. They just love our defenders.
Yeah.
Especially Liverpool. Who was it? Oh, I can't remember his name now. Oh, it's really annoying me. Oh, he thought he was the best defender in the world.
Lovren.
Lovren.
yeah.
Yeah, Lovren. I am the best defender in the world. That man.
No.
Where is he now? Where is he now? Who's he play for now? Or is he just?
I
I think he plays for Zenit. I think.
Zenit.
Oh yeah, Zenit. Yeah.
I'm the best defender in the world. Let me just go to Zenit.
Oh my days, man!
I can't even. He's not even on FIFA. I swear.
He's not. Zenit's are on FIFA.
Are they not? Are they not on FIFA anymore?
No, I think they removed the Russian league licensing.
Is this his brother? I think I've just found his brother, Davor Lovren.
Oh, big old Davor.
He's
How
a
old
left
is he?
mid. 22, and he's a left mid.
Palace.
Oh,
He goes to Palace.
Could go to Palace. No, he goes to
Definitely in the world.
Southampton.
Well, he's got a
He'll go to
bronze
Southampton,
card.
go to Liverpool, say he's
got
the best defender in the world. Go back
Best
there.
winger in the world. Well, I've got to say he's got a bronze card on FIFA, so I'm not gonna put my hopes up for that.
My God.
What's his rating on? What's his rating?
64.
Not bad.
64.
Might have
That's
to-
one off for silver.
Might have decent potential.
75 pace. Watch out.
Oh.
His
That's
his
a
best
good
start
idea.
is his 83 balance.
Is he
He
short?
won't fall over. He won't fall over.
1 second. Let me just have a gander.
Also, I think with Klein, he hasn't. I don't think he's played for the last few games. I think they've gone back to either Ward. Yeah, that's it. And obviously, Palace signed him on an initial 6-month contract, and they've just renewed it again to the end of the season. I think he's someone with experience that they need, but I think they've got too many, as I said earlier, people around that similar age. And I've always liked Joel Ward. I've always think he could have gone to a no offense, a bit of a bigger club than Crystal Palace, because I think he's quite good.
Mhm.
And obviously they've got Tyrone Mitchell come in for again, and he played at left back when Van Aanholt was injured, and then Van Aanholt came back into the squad straight away and played left back, and then they dropped Mitchell, and then they went for a run of games where they lost, brought Mitchell back in, and then I think they beat Sheffield United. I like Mitchell. I think he's a consistent player for Palace, and I think he's someone that's come through the youth academy, and I think they need more players like that, especially like these days where a lot of teams are trying to bring players through, like Chelsea have, like Arsenal have, Liverpool have started to do it with like Jones and Williams, and I think it's quite vital for English football that continues to happen, rather than bringing in other players from abroad, because you don't want to lose that focus that English football for like bringing through English players. But I think, as we know, the Premier League is probably the best league in the world for everything, and I think for Palace to stay in, they've just got to adjust the things that we've said, and I think they need to do that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I agree. They need something different.
I wanted to talk about on the topic of defenders.
Mhm.
Gary Cahill aging out, they're struggling with injuries. I'm going to go back to the Championship, and it's going to be a Chelsea loanee, Mark Gay from
Yeah,
Oh, Guay, he's a
on loan
baller, man.
on loan at
He's a
Swansea.
baller.
Swansea.
He's he's a brilliant player. He's working really well with
He's
Bennett and Cabango at the
insane.
back for Swansea. If Tuchel doesn't want to pick him to start games, I think Palace should go in and look for a loan for him. Maybe like
I
a
like
loan to
that.
buy.
It's a good
I
shout.
think.
Yeah.
I think. Well, he's very young. He's 22, I think. And get him on a loan to buy deal, and maybe Chelsea will reignite their interest in him, or he'll just go to Palace and really strengthen their defence. That's my
He's
shout.
actually very good because
He is.
when
I like that
remember
shout.
when we loaned out Tomori to AC Milan, I
Oh,
was a bit skeptical about that, I won't lie, but then I remembered that we have Guay, he's still in the squad because he's probably been top 3 best players for Swansea this season. Obviously, I think they're really high up the Championship as well. I'm not sure which position they are, but I always keep in touch with his performances every week. So it's like a number of tackles, successful passes played, headers won. Which he's absolutely amazing, and he's young as well, about the same age as Tomori. So
Swansea
He's
are second.
second in the
second,
league.
you see,
And
second.
another thing to shout out for them is that they have conceded the least goals in the Championship
Exactly.
as well.
well, he's
It's
got
that
someone
back
to get
three.
then, isn't he?
It's that back three of Bennett, Gay, and Cabango.
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
Yeah.
a brilliant back three. They're wing backs as well.
Absolutely
But back onto
amazing.
Palace. What else can we talk about Palace?
I think one thing I do want to talk about is obviously Zaha scoring 9 goals, as Josh said, nearly half of their goals. Are we going to see a move from him at some point in the future? Because obviously we in recent years we had Arsenal try and get him, but Palace wanted 75 mil. They didn't want to pay that. Obviously he's got less time on his contract now.
Yeah. I
So
think there were links with Everton as well in the past. I'm not too sure. I think
Mhm.
Everton a few years back, yeah. Even Chelsea as well.
He might want to go to a title challenging club. He
Yeah.
could go abroad, maybe to an Italian club or a French club, maybe even German, like a Dortmund.
He'd be very good at Dortmund.
Imagine that attack at Dortmund, like Haaland, Sancho, Zaha. That'd be
I'd love him at
ridiculous.
Dortmund. I would love him.
Obviously, a previous Man U player as well.
Yeah, I was about to say that Man U could be an option, but obviously his previous ties with Man U, I don't think he performed up
Played
to
2
the
games.
stand. Yeah, he played 2 games and then didn't
Yeah.
play again. Went to Palace and became a top player. I think.
I still think United want to get Sancho though. That's probably their primary target.
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot of stuff. I've been reading a lot of articles. Can't speak, and there's a lot of them saying that they just don't care about Sancho anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think they should ignite their interest in Zaha if they don't. If Sancho's going to be too expensive for them,
and as I've
I
said
rate him that much.
as I've said in the chat, I have been reading articles about Haaland.
Oh, Haaland.
Haaland at
He's
Palace,
a big
pending.
boy.
No, not with Palace, with United.
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
I honestly cannot see Chelsea buying him.
I
It's
can't
just
see
not.
United.
No, it's not even.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
What I
United
will say is, Haaland to Chelsea is a kind of signing where Thomas Tuchel would probably do, because obviously, he was manager when he signed Mbappe and Neymar, was he? Because Emery got sacked.
I don't see Chelsea allowing that to happen.
I feel like we would, because Giroud, he might leave this summer. Obviously, he hasn't renewed his contract, and he is 34 years old, and we would need a new striker to replace him.
We've
got money growing on trees. We do.
We've already got 2.
Yeah, but I feel like 3,
especially with how Tuchel's set it up for the first game. He only played one striker. Why need another one if you've got a main one and a backup one?
No, because we can't have Haaland going to any other team apart from
I
Chelsea.
personally, I'm calling it right now. He's going to a Manchester team.
No.
You know, Man
City.
City is the expected one.
I
No.
promise you.
If there's two teams he's going to, if I had to say it, it's either Real Madrid or Chelsea, and I think he'd most likely go to Real Madrid.
I'm going to say Man City or Chelsea. Mainly because I know his dad played for City.
I'm
that
sticking
might be
with
a
Man
factor.
U. I'm sticking with Man U. I'm not changing.
And you
Could
ain't
he-
out.
Man U.
Could he make a bridge between Dortmund, Leeds, if they propelled themselves up the table? And then Man
Yeah,
City?
I'd love that.
Because he's a Leeds fan. He's a Leeds fan. He
Leeds
wants
are
to
getting
play
it.
for Leeds.
Leeds sound like they're getting a bit of money at the end of it soon as well. So
I mean,
No,
he
just
did
save
say
it
he
up,
wants to win the
save it
Champions
up.
League with Leeds.
I mean, Haaland can go
Maybe
to
their fans will
Selhurst
start a
Park.
fundraiser.
Ooh.
Right. What else about Palace can we chat about then?
Also, back on Zaha, just one quick thing.
Yeah.
I think Palace have to cash on him now, this summer, if
Before his
they
contract
want
runs out.
some. Yeah,
I don't think they can ask for too much though. If
You
they
don't.
ask for above
it's
60 mil,
extortionate
it's stupid.
prices that they're
If it's above
wanting for
60
someone.
mil, if it's above 60 mil, they're insane.
Yeah, it's a no.
Yeah.
I mean, someone offered 70 million. Who was that? I can't remember.
Was it Arsenal?
Was it Arsenal? And then they got Pepe.
Probably
Was that it?
Arsenal.
Yeah, they got
Yeah,
Pepe
probably
instead
Arsenal, yeah.
because
Yeah.
Crystal Palace turned around like that. I don't want 70 mil. I want 75 mil, and they were
And-
like, okay,
Yeah.
we'll go get Pepe instead.
Let's go get Pepe.
I think he's wanted to leave over the past 2 summers, in my opinion. And I think this is the one where if he wants to go, you just have to get what you can for him because
Yeah.
1 is contract and 2, he's 28, 29 where he's reaching his peak. I think he's already,
I don't
might
think
have peaked, but
I feel bad for him as well because I feel like there's a lot of pressure on him.
yeah.
Because
for sure.
I feel like that he is the main thing that is helping Crystal Palace stay where they are in the Prem.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Crystal Palace is going, no, we want this much for him because to them he is a massive asset in keeping them in the Premier League.
I agree.
Maybe now they have Eze. Obviously, before it was just Zaha and only Zaha. Maybe now they have Eze with Zaha. Maybe they'd be more. They wouldn't be that reluctant with him leaving.
They need to cash in some money for him, and then look at some younger players that can come in, add some energy, and want to play, and absolutely are motivated to keep them there.
They can't price him out.
I like Demarai Gray. I think he's quite good. I know he's been linked.
That is a good shout.
Leicester.
He's been linked to Bayern Leverkusen at the moment. That looks like it might be happening.
Yeah.
But I think if that doesn't happen, I think Demarai Gray. I think obviously with the way Leicester are playing and Harvey Barnes, you can't drop Harvey Barnes. I think Demarai Gray could be a good shout. I think maybe Shaqiri from Liverpool, but will he want to go there? That's a lot of wages.
He's also he's getting on the old side as well, Shaqiri.
He is. I think it's hard because you're trying to. You still want Premier League quality players, but then at the same time, you don't want for Palace people over a certain age because I think they need some youth in that team. And in regards to Zaha, I think with the age he's at, I think he should go abroad, maybe in the Italian league, maybe AC Milan area.
I think if he moves, he needs to go to a team that are in the Championship as well.
What, Zaha?
Yeah.
A Championship.
If he goes Championship.
No,
do you mean the Champions League?
The Champions League. That's what I meant to
say.
say.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Have you been drinking?
So, yeah, no, that's later. I'm not drinking yet.
It's getting early for the pub quiz.
Yeah, I got the vodka out already, boys. Nah, he needs to go to. If you're going abroad, he needs to go to a Champions League team.
AC Milan.
AC Milan.
I
when
would love
AC Milan, who do they have at striker at the moment? There's Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
That's it. He can pick it on his head.
So I feel like he could do bits going AC Milan. Because I don't know what Ibra's doing. He went to America. I thought, he's going to retire. He's going to cash in some money and retire. and then he switched to AC Milan again. I was like,
Just
he wants to
switched
finish his
right to
career.
Milan, top
Yeah, and I'm
scorer
like,
in Serie A.
he wants to switch and finish his career on a high at AC Milan, a club that he played really well for. So I think he's
29
gonna.
years old as well.
Yeah, he's on a mad one. I personally think he's gonna call it quits soon at AC
Oh.
Milan. That's gonna be his last club.
I think
He'll
he'll
have
go
a
back to
boxing
Malmo.
match.
You reckon?
I think he could go back to Malmo, stick out a few more years there, and say, "No, I'm done now."
Or
Yeah.
Ajax. Ajax is a good shout as well.
Ajax is a good shout.
Ajax.
Revisits all his old clubs for one season and then retires. Imagine, I would love that from him. I can't believe how old he is.
Barcelona.
Yeah, back to
You know,
Barca.
I would.
They could do with him.
I've heard they need a
Yeah.
striker that scores goals.
Yeah.
You look at his
Uh,
FIFA card, and it's just 52 pace, 79 dribbling, 77 passing, 77 physical, and then 88 shot with 91 position,
shoots,
90 shot power.
Line.
What a
Just-
man!
It's incredible.
What a man!
I'm-
6'5". Yeah, sorry,
I'm s-
Josh.
Gonna make two more points. It was just about
Yep.
Zaha and Gray.
Yeah.
Palace need to. They can't do the classic technique of pricing out for the big teams now, because that would be an indication that we want him to stay and he can't go for this much. They have to cash in on him, because they're either not. They're going to get nothing for him and he's going to leave, and they definitely want at least maybe 25, 30 mil from him. And then Demarai Gray, I think that'd be a good move for Palace, because I think he'd get game time there, and he needs game time because he's still 25, coming up to his prime years as a winger, and he needs that time to play.
Yeah.
Definitely, I agree.
What I will say about Zaha is, considering all the block transfers he's had the past few years, and he's still maintaining that top tier level, it's absolutely top mentality. Because I don't know if you could tell, like with Sancho, for example, he had his United transfer blocked, and the start of the season, it was absolutely abysmal. I know he started to pick up a bit of form, but it just shows like if you don't get the transfer you want, you just go a bit lackluster performances. But he's still very consistent, and I'll give him some there. He's very good for me.
Right.
So, yeah.
Just to end the Crystal Palace thing before I ask the next question. Where are Crystal Palace finishing this season? And who should they sign?
Okay, I'll go first. I think they're going to finish around the mid-table area, lower mid-table. I'm going to back them to push up a little bit and go to 13th. One place.
Yeah.
And then signing in this window or the summer window?
I'll go with summer.
I'm going to go with Mark Guehi. I think if Swansea don't get promoted, go and get him in. Nice young defender that will solidify at the back, bring the age of the squad down, and that's that.
Nice. I rate that.
Well, I'll go next.
Go on.
Palace, 14th right now. If I'm being honest, I think they'll probably finish either 15th or 16th. I'm gonna go with 15th. I think they'll just do enough to get the 40 points, obviously avoid relegation, and then they'll move on next season. And in the summer, I think they're gonna splash out and get Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's get the goals.
Written stars.
Get the goals.
It's gonna happen now.
No, they need the age of the squad to go down.
Yeah. Or Mbappe.
Still to go up.
Mbappe.
My
What team?
gosh.
The ex Crystal Palace player, Abby Dean, come on.
I think they have to finish above 14th. I don't think they can finish there. I think they have to finish above what they did last season, but I think they'll go down a place. I think they'll finish 15th. I'm gonna say it now. I think they need to pick up their performances ASAP. They'll stay up for sure. I think they'll finish 15th. I think Burnley might overtake them, even though Burnley or Brighton. I know Brighton a little bit further down, but I think they're playing well. I'll say Palace will finish 15th, and I'll say if Zaha goes, sign Damare Gray.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna
And Eddie Howe.
Let me just look at the table. I think they are gonna go. They're gonna go down a place. I'll put them 15th as well. I just don't think their defence can push them higher up the table and support the attackers like Zaha. So I'm gonna go. I'll go with 15th as well. I agree. And one team that I think. Well, let me have a look at the age of this player. Okay, not him. I'll ignore that. I was gonna say that if Burnley have a torrid rest of the season and end up going further down, looking at near relegation, that Crystal Palace could look at Ben Mee because he's been doing well.
How
But
about Tarkowski?
pardon?
How about Tarkowski?
That could be a shout as well. Tarkowski. I don't know how old he is though. I thought he was
He's
older.
younger than Ben Mee. I
Is
think
he?
he's about
Is he
25,
actually?
26. I think
he was
I think it's about
28.
there.
Burnley
He
are trying to
is.
price him out,
Yeah,
though. That's the only problem as
28.
well.
He's 28. He's 28.
Oh, it's 28. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ben Mee's 31, 30. So yeah, maybe one of the Burnley boys get a season out of them before proper looking at the younger ones that are pushing back up to those good seasons. But yeah, and then obviously I agree with the new manager. Because Roy, bless him, he needs to lie down.
Yeah.
Just rest. Just chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
Just chill, man.
Literally. So, last point before we end this week's podcast, I want to know: is it match? What match day are we up? Is it match day 21 next?
Yes.
I believe it is.
I want predictions, please. We'll start with Abby Dean.
Well, my and Oshi's team, Chelsea. I'll say what I think first. We've got a 12 o'clock kickoff against Burnley at
Yes.
home on Sunday, live on
probably gonna miss that
BT. I
match.
think.
Correct.
I think we'll win. I haven't said that for a while, unless we're
Yeah.
playing Morecambe and Luton, as I've said recently. But I think we'll win. I know Burnley won the other day against Villa. They played very well. But I think with this new formation that Tuchel has implemented, he's seen the players not necessarily based on form, but he brought some of the other form players on against Wolves. I think we'll win. I think we'll score 3. Do you know what? I think we'll go for a 3-0 win because I'm feeling quite positive, and I think Oshi can agree with the way that we discussed earlier. The way that we played against Wolves was a lot more positive and more exciting to watch. Even though it was a 0-0, it was good that we could actually retain the ball in terms of what we did, and I think that was an improvement. So I'll go 3-0 win against Burnley.
I can see that. Second lowest scoring team in the Premier League, Burnley. I can't see them scoring against Chelsea, especially if they're playing this sort of 5 at the back formation that they have. I can agree with that. Oshi, are you agreeing, or got any other predictions for the games?
Yeah, I'll add a few games as well, but I'm gonna
Yeah, go for
one up Abby here, and I'm gonna say I think we're gonna win 4-0.
Oh, I'll take that. I'll be running around my room if we get 4.
I'm backing Havertz to step up big, get maybe 1, maybe 2 goals. I'm not sure who's gonna start striker though. Maybe he may play Abraham. Actually, yeah,
I could see Werner starting against Burnley.
He could do, but obviously they have the tall dominant centre back, so we'll see how he plays that out. But I'm sticking with the 4-0, and I know there's a big game this weekend. Obviously the two so-called, I mean, at least in the past, the two so-called banter clubs, Arsenal and United.
Yeah.
0-0.
Cool.
If it's 0-0, I'll cry.
You know, I never really back Arsenal, probably because I hate them a lot. But I actually think they're going to get the winner.
I agree.
They're going to get the win.
I agree, actually.
I'm going to back a 2-0 for Arsenal.
2-0, yeah. Honestly, I'm going to go 2-0 as well.
Right.
I don't think
Roshan's not here. He can't back up his team. I know he'd
Yeah.
be screaming at all of you right now.
Yeah, because I'm
He
not
would
gonna lie.
be-
Arsenal have been kind of United's bogey team the past few seasons. United haven't managed to string a couple of wins in a row against these guys. And obviously Arsenal always treat United like it's a cup final, especially
I think
Fernandez is going to have another stinker.
He
I
doesn't
think
turn
with that
up.
game,
so as
I
well.
think with that game, obviously Man United just come off a loss to the bottom team. I personally think
Let's all laugh.
that after that embarrassment, they've got to win this game, and we'll
have to
go
win this
for
game.
it. And I see a 2-1 United or a 1-0 or 2-1. I'm going with.
But if United lose this game, would you consider them out of the title race?
But they've never been in it.
Yeah, I mean,
What are we looking at?
they technically have, but they haven't been playing like it.
No, they're not good
I'm
enough.
not saying
to win the league.
they're definitely second still, even though they lost to Sheffield. Same games as Leicester and Liverpool, and still second. I don't think they're in the title race, but I do think they're in the second place race, as I'm going to call it. So I think it doesn't really matter if they win or lose. They're still in the second place race. I'm going to call it. But yeah, I don't see them losing to Arsenal after that sort of embarrassing defeat against Sheffield. No offense to United fans.
I think you do with an Arsenal win because I'm pretty sure United play Southampton next after Arsenal.
Yeah. Don't worry. We'll have our wing backs.
We've got
Well, they are wing
Spurs.
backs. We'll have our full backs then. Don't worry.
Okay.
Was that
okay.
Southampton playing United?
Soon, yes.
I'm going for a 9-0 Southampton.
Oh.
Okay, right. I love that.
Go on.
Yes.
Josh
Big
Brown,
ups.
what shirt you wearing for that game then?
What shirt am I wearing?
Oh.
Are you mad? I'm a Southampton fan.
I've just seen some photos recently of you in a Man United shirt.
Yes.
So,
It's because as a child I was raised wrong. I've told you this. We've all had it.
yeah, I know,
Roshan
only joking with you.
sympathises. Roshan sympathises. He has Leeds fans around him.
Oh
He
my goodness.
Oh, I
he
know, Arsenal.
sympathises with me. Exactly. See, we've all had.
We've all come out the
we're
other
all
side.
raised wrong. Yeah, and we've come out
Saw
with
the
the
light.
right teams. Yeah. So
So, what about
Southampton.
Southampton this weekend? They've got Villa at home.
We've
What are you
got
thinking, Brown?
Cool, that's a hard one actually.
I know. I think we'll obviously have Ryan Bertrand back. Walker Peters is a bit of a sus one, whether he's coming back or not. We are on the same points as them, but they have more games. They have more games to play than us. So I want us to win, but I feel like without I'm gonna have to go with a 1-1 draw. I'm never gonna back us to lose. I refuse. 1-1 draw. I'm gonna call it.
I think Southampton could win that. Actually, I think
I am
so as well.
hopeful. I think it
Yeah.
depends. I think it depends on our fullbacks.
I remember the last Southampton Villa game was an absolute goal fest. It was 4-3 Southampton in the end.
Ooh, oh yeah, the Ward-Prowse double free kicks.
Oh
Ooh, that
yeah.
was a good game.
Yeah,
Very good
it
game.
Yeah.
was. What a beautiful man. Maybe you can do it again.
Maybe.
Easy.
Maybe.
But
Yeah,
obviously,
Oh.
the two best goalkeepers in the Premier League this season are facing each other in that game.
McCarthy and Martinez.
Yeah.
Do you know what, I can agree with that.
Yeah,
I
I won't give Mendy that yet.
No.
I just want
No.
I just want at least a draw, and I won't be upset because I know how well Villa are playing this year, and they are coming off a win.
Ooh.
So maybe they'll go in a bit too confident. We don't know. I'll see.
No, they lost.
Are they? No, I thought they lost. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost to Burnley
They
3-2.
lost to Burnley.
Oh,
Scored 3 in a match.
I keep forgetting
Breaking news.
the last thing I heard about that game, it was 2-1 because I was like listening whilst I was watching the other game. Oh, I forgot it was 3-2.
Then me scored actually.
Yeah.
Dean's favourite player.
Our brain. Yeah. If they've lost to Burnley, they're screwed. We're winning.
I like Ben Me actually.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. We're winning.
Yeah. 2-1 Southampton.
Burnley
Oh.
scored a fourth of their goals this season against them. We're winning.
Yeah.
Can't believe how many goals they've scored. How many did you say again?
13.
13. And they got
In
3.
19 games.
Before
So they've
that,
scored
it was
10
10.
goals.
Before that,
Wow.
it was
Right,
10.
right. I'm just saying this. Aston Villa are on 33 goals. They lost to a team that had 20 more goals than them before that game.
Oh my goodness,
Blimey.
man. Oh, that's abysmal. That's terrible.
Oh, if
Oh,
Dean
what a
listens to this, he's going to be like, "No, we are the best.
we are the
It does
best.
not matter." Right.
What about West Ham Liverpool?
I was about to say that.
I apologize,
My
bro.
guys.
I'm sorry.
No,
Shit.
do not apologise. I love it. West Ham Liverpool. What are we saying? Yeah. It was to get Braxton.
Fourth versus fifth. Fourth versus fifth.
Braxton, go on.
Good winning with midweek for Liverpool. Also for West Ham as well. A little bit shaky at the end against Palace. But I think I'd back a draw, to be honest. I think I'd go for like a 2-2.
I
I
was
think
about to
it'd
say
be a
the
bit
same
of maybe a Souček double.
Oh, I
Congratulations.
love that.
Souček and Salah. Souček and Salah.
Top goal
shot.
scorer of the Premier League this season? Question mark.
No, it's funny. Salah is the top scorer in the league.
Yeah.
He hasn't scored in the past 7 matches, I think, or
It shows
6.
how Harry Kane's dropped off a bit. That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
Poor man's injured now, so you know.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm gonna go. Oh, Liverpool just beat Spurs. You know, I really don't want Liverpool to win, but I think they're gonna start getting back on that right track now. I think I'm gonna go Liverpool 2-1. It'll be a close game. I think maybe Mane and Firmino, and probably the classic Souček goal for West Ham. But I think it'll be 2-1 Liverpool.
I think they are going to concede. Matip's now injured.
Mm.
Again.
Oh, that's true.
And they
that's
were
true.
playing Henderson at centre back with him, I believe, in the
Yeah.
Tottenham game.
Yeah.
So I believe I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw as well, on that basis that their defence is just injured. There's only so much their fullbacks can do in defence without having any
'cause-
centre backs to support them.
Oh, because Fabinho is injured as well, isn't he?
Yep.
Oh,
They're
Yeah.
going to have
gonna
to play Jones. Is it Jones?
Yeah, Williams.
Williams.
Yeah, Williams.
Henderson and Williams are centre back. Oh, damn. Oh,
Or
I have to change my
Phillips.
prediction here. Oh.
Henderson settled in quite well at centre back, actually. I think. I think he's done quite well.
I'm not.
I don't rate it.
I mean, I know you don't rate him as a player, but he done a delightful block ball over to Mane who crossed it into Firmino last night.
Oh, I'm not saying he can't do anything as a footballer. I'm just saying.
Do you
You
think he's
just say it.
overrated?
Just saying I don't rate him.
Yeah, probably
I-
be
yeah.
Henderson and Phillips at the back for the weekend.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I mean, I think,
I'll stick with a 2-2.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll stick with it too.
I'm not. I think that's the biggest game of the whole weekend. I know Arsenal Man United is a derby, but I think in terms of how West Ham have been playing and where they are in the league, I think that's a massive game for this season.
I would like to
Oh,
point
sure.
out another big game that week. This is a relegation sort of game. Brighton versus Fulham, 17th versus 18th. I think
Oh.
Fulham need to win that game because they're on 13
You mean
points.
West Brom?
Wait, what? No, it's Fulham
West-
versus Brighton.
That happened
West
in the
Brom.
week, Brown. That happened in the
No,
week.
no,
It was a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, Brighton are playing Spurs this
No.
weekend.
I looked at the wrong one. I've looked
West
at-
Brom
wait,
Fulham.
No,
But
it's all
it still
good.
is a
Did I
relegation
click the
battle.
wrong
I'll
game
give you
week?
that.
It's
I
still a
clicked-
relegation battle.
I
Yeah,
clicked
West
the
Brom are
wrong-
playing Fulham.
Yeah, that's the relegation battle.
I've messed it. I've messed it.
It's all good. It's
Wait.
all good.
It's all good. Don't worry
Wait,
about
yeah,
it.
West Brom Fulham. Yeah. It's West Brom Fulham. Relegation. Woo.
Big Sam,
Damn
little
it.
Sam.
West Brom haven't been smacked in the week against Man City. Then lost to West Ham before that as well. Last win was against
my
Wolves.
Obviously, Fulham haven't had any bad performances recently.
Yeah.
So
I feel ever since the manager changed formation, Fulham's performances, although the results probably haven't been winning that much, but they've definitely been playing a lot better because I've watched a few of the games. Obviously, I watched them play us, I watched them play United, I watched them play Spurs. They've improved massively. I think they're going to win this game.
Yep.
I think it's going to be probably. I'm going to go 3-0 Fulham, a convincing win.
Well,
Very
my
good.
cousin, not my cousin, my mum's cousin, so like second cousin, is that? Whatever relation that is. He's a
Yep.
Fulham fan. And to be honest, I probably should have been a Fulham fan. That was the first kit I ever wore as a young
Are
Josh
you saying you wore a different kit? Is there a picture?
There is a picture. I'll have to show you later.
I've got
I'll
a
have to
picture
show
of
you
me and
later.
Arsenal.
I'll find it. It's probably in the room that I'm sitting in.
No.
Yeah, see,
Um,
you're all
no.
slating me and Man
It's in the
United got.
archives.
But yeah, my second cousin, who's a Fulham fan, he's been saying, I follow him on Twitter. He's also got another podcast. I don't really want to, unless they give us a shout out on their podcast. I'd shout out on this podcast.
We'll link up with you. Please give a shout out.
Valfo Football. Valfo Football. Yeah. If you shout out on the bench, we've just shouted you out. So please shout out.
We just started.
I'm gonna say to Ben, please watch this podcast episode and shout us out on your next Valfo Football episode. All right.
Yeah.
But anyway, about Fulham, he's been saying that recently. I don't think he was too happy with the performance against Brighton. Probably wanted to win, but I think this game they should really be winning. They've got a good defence. Haven't conceded too much, except against Burnley in the FA Cup, but they changed quite a bit and had pretty much championship level centre backs there. So I'd back a 2-0 Fulham.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Sorry that. We're not backing West Brom to score at all so far.
No.
I think one more game that I'm gonna point out that I think might be an interesting one to watch. Leicester City versus Leeds United.
Ooh.
I think that's going to be a good game to watch.
I'm going to throw out a 2-0 Leicester. I think Leicester's defence is strong. Leicester's attack is strong. Leeds have not been in a great patch of form. I mean, they beat Newcastle, but everyone's beaten Newcastle recently. So I'd back a 2-0 Leicester.
Nice. Oshi?
Leicester beat Leeds last time, yeah, like 4-1.
Yep.
Is it 4-1? Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely backing Leicester. Third in the league. Absolutely flying. You know, just Maddison doing his thing, Barnes doing his thing. It's even Vardy as well. Yeah. Scoreline. Leicester Leeds. It's at the King Power as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 3-1.
Nice.
I'm gonna go 3-1. Yeah.
Right, Dean?
I'm going to be very bold here. Okay. I'm going to go 3-3.
3-3.
Wow.
6-goal game. A 6-goal game.
That. I would love that.
I just think the intensity that Leeds have, and they're at Leicester as well, which is a bigger pitch, I think, to Ellen Road. I just think Leeds have been playing really good football recently, regardless if they've won or lost or drawn. And obviously Leicester have been playing quite well, and I think it would be going to be quite a good and even matchup, because I think, is it Rafinha on the wing has been playing really well. I think 3-0. I know they don't have Vardy, Leicester, but I think they played Perez up front last game, which is obviously a little bit different. So they won't have that attacking force to get behind Leeds' centre backs, whoever that may be, because we never know anymore. Yeah, I think 3-0, just to throw it out there. I think it'll be a great game to watch.
Nice. I'm personally going to go with a 2-1 Leicester. I think, as you said, they don't have that attacking force. The defense is decent, but yeah, I'm gonna go with a 2-1 on that Leicester Leeds game.
A 3-3 draw is 33-1 on Sky Bet. So Dean,
Right,
you might want to get a little cheeky
Never
pound on
betted
that, and you'll
before.
get 34. Never bet.
Should I put a pound on?
Put a pound on. Do it.
Go on.
Do it.
I
You
mean,
can, you
Ocean
can
was
brag
that-
about winning 34 quid if you
We're
get
not
it right.
pressuring
There we
you,
go.
but do it.
Okay. I mean, Ochi was that shocked that he actually just left and came back. So
Yeah, I was so
Yeah.
confused. I was-
Right. I think fittingly, before we go on to the championship games, Josh, so we can
Yes.
talk about a bit about Reading. We spoke about on this episode, Crystal Palace. They're playing Wolves. I'm going to say that's going to be a 2-0 win to Wolves.
That's what
Ooh.
happened the last time they played them
Mhm.
in the league.
Yeah.
I'd back that as well.
You know what? Because we've talked so much about Palace today, I feel like it's only right to at least support them this weekend. And I'm going to
Love
go. I'm gonna go 2-1 Palace. I'm gonna go
Ooh.
2-1.
Nice.
Wolves have been on horrendous form for the past few weeks, and I back Zaha and Eze to carry them to a win.
Fair enough. I can see that.
Oh,
Cool.
I think I like my draws this weekend, apart from Chelsea. I'm gonna say 2-2. I think both teams have now got a new striker. Obviously, Wolves have got the guy from Sociedad for the rest of the season, and then Palace have signed this other new guy as well. And I think if them two start, it'd be quite an interesting game to watch. And then they got their little attacking players behind, like Neto, Podence, and then you got Eze and Zaha. I think both teams will score. So I think I'll fittingly, as Oshi said as well, I think support Palace in this way, but I still don't think they'll get the win, if I'm honest. I think they just been lacking, so I think I'll go with 2-2.
Nice. I rate that. Right.
The championship.
We're going to the expert on this one.
The
Braxton.
EFL expert. Right.
You've got Bournemouth. Tough game. What are you
2-1.
saying?
2-1.
2-1 to
Reading. I think.
Reading.
Yeah, I think, as Veljko Paunovic calls it, he calls it revenge month. So we come up against teams that we've played quite recently. We played Bournemouth back in November, December time. Obviously lost 4-2. I think he's going to ramp up the players for that and get a good result. We've got also key players coming back in Mate and Yiadom. So I think Mate you'll probably see on the bench. You might see Elise on the bench. And I think we've got enough quality to beat them. They've been in a bit of a rough spot as well, Bournemouth. They've lost to Derby and Luton in the league. So not great for them. So I think we can try and take advantage of their poor form. I'm going to pick out some other championship games as well.
Yeah,
Norwich Middlesbrough. That's going to be a good one. They beat Blackburn last time out 1-0. Oh no, they lost to
Controversially, wasn't it? Yeah, they lost.
They lost 1-0. Controversially, they should have had a penalty, and they lost 3-0 to Rotherham in midweek. I completely forgot about that. So I think I'd be back in Norwich for this one. I'd probably go for a 2-0 Norwich. They've got a great attacking threat. Blackburn Luton, I think that's going to be a goal fest. I'm going to go 2-2 draw. Two great attacking teams. Brentford Wickham, easily back a Brentford win. I mean, Brentford are one of the best teams in the league, and Wickham are Wickham. Yeah.
8-1.
Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to highlight out.
Cool.
I'll actually highlight Cycling GK's club, Watford. They play on Monday against QPR. Is that live on Sky? It is live on Sky. So I'd back Watford for that one. They're playing well under their new manager, Xisco Munoz. Yeah, I'd back a 1-0 win for Watford.
Is he still injured?
Foster is still injured. He still has a broken finger. And I think Barkman's playing quite well recently. So they've got a good pace for him. And as we are from the University of Lincoln, it's only in our right minds to talk about a big match
Lincoln
top. It's Lincoln versus Doncaster. This is huge because if
Massive.
Doncaster win, I think they go into the top 2.
Yeah, because I think I think it's Doncaster and Accrington. They've got like quite a few games in
Yeah.
hand.
They've got 3 games in hand
yeah.
over second place Hull, and if they beat Lincoln by 2 goals, or if Doncaster win and Hull lose, they should go into second place.
It's
so
massive
quite a
game.
big match.
Because I know the last game, Lincoln beat Portsmouth 1-0. They left it quite late on, and that was actually at Portsmouth as well.
Yeah.
Rogers scored his first goal for Lincoln, and I think with him and Johnson, Grant and Scully, I think they've been playing quite well together. And then obviously you got Bridcut with a lot of experience, like used to play for Sunderland, and the fence has been playing well. The lonely right back from Spurs, Ioma, I think his name is, might be wrong. He's been having wonders there. Have you got Motsmana at the centre back, who's just come back from COVID? He should be back for this game. I think it's a really positive thing for Lincoln as a whole, and our university as well. We could potentially see a team in the championship next season, and I think hopefully we'll be back at them games, and COVID will go away, and we'll be able to go, because I think that'll be brilliant. We could see West Brom beat Lincoln, Sheffield United beat Lincoln. That's just
It's actually going to be
unheard
mental.
of. That will be incredible for us.
Go on some away games as well. Try and get tickets for away games. That'd be beautiful.
Literally.
Madness.
Imagine that's going to be cool.
Match the Day Society away games with Lincoln. It'd be
Honestly,
amazing.
That'd be nice.
And we get £10 tickets as well in our own University of Lincoln section. Me and Josh have been there a few times.
Yep.
And also membership's quite cheap. So if we fancy going to away games, just pay a bit of a fee for membership, and we'll be in the draw for tickets for away games. So I think massive game for Lincoln. Like, must-win game at the Linear Stadium. We have to win.
Yeah. Doncaster, massive threat. I've looked at their form. It's just wins, except for their FA Cup loss to West Ham.
Yeah.
They beat Swindon, they beat Rochdale, they beat Wimbledon. I mean, they are towards the bottom of the table, as well as Burton, Swindon again, Gillingham, Northampton. They're winning against a lot of teams round the lower half of the table. One of their recent losses was to Hull. They also lost to Shrewsbury as well, who've been playing well. And under Darren Moore, they look like a threat. But I think I'd still back Lincoln to win. Or
You've got to back Lincoln.
I'm going to back Lincoln for a 2-1.
Ooh.
Oh wait, Darren Moore at Doncaster.
Darren Moore is Doncaster manager.
Oh my, wow! Wasn't he at West Brom or something?
I was surprised when he's joined Doncaster, because he was West Brom. He did so well in the Championship, and they managed to pull him out because they lost Grant McCann to Hull, and they managed to just grab Darren Moore, and that's a great managerial appointment.
That is good.
And it's working out well because they're gonna look like they could go up.
Wow.
Lincoln Doncaster in the Championship. Here we go.
It's not far. That's a derby.
It's
Ooh.
very local start.
Off we go.
Right. Now we have made our predictions, talked a bit about Palace, discussed the last game week. What a sad game week from my point of view. We are going to end the podcast, and we will be recording the next one after this weekend, I believe, Monday. Happy days. Can't wait for that one. I think that's we're not going to have a guest for that one. It's going to be the committee. It's going to be all 4 of us talking football, all different teams. It's going to be good. So it's a goodbye from me.
And me.
And me.
And me.
Say thank you very much for listening. Catch you on the next one.
Peace.